happened, and here we go. We've got it. We've got that wonderful, wonderful, fateful moment right there. Shut up, Mario.
It will come to order. Are there any senators in the chamber who wish to vote or change their vote? If not, on this vote, the yeas are 52, the nays are 48. The nomination of Coney Barrett of Indiana to be an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States is confirmed.
Got it? Got it. Oh, jeez. So much wang.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Totar Win of nearly a full week early. This one can't wait till Thursday, and we're live right now. Christopher Lowry and Cameron Anderson, we're here in the BFM studios. We got the news. We got the news a little while ago, but come on, live is hard mode. We got to set things up.
It takes a minute.
And we see you in the chats. Hey, Krista. Hey, Dave. Hey, Drew. Hey, Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay.
Good to see you popping in there.
Dave says he can't hear us.
Rod says Totar Win. Wait, you have to be able to hear me now. I mean, come on.
Audio super low. Oh, it's because we're live. It's because when we do it live, the intro is so much louder when I'm in the studio with you.
Yeah, I don't know why. You may just have to turn it up. When we do it from this setup, the intro is just not balanced the way it should be. And obviously the studio's lit for me to be in here by myself, and poor Cameron's over there with he's out of the good soft light. Still audio.
Okay, we're fixing it.
That's as fixed as I can get it. I don't know what the problem is.
We're not close enough to the mic, apparently.
Maybe. I mean, I'm registering pretty good right there.
Rod, did you just make a Spinal Tap joke? Well played, sir.
Okay, how's that? You don't want this up to 11, I promise you that.
Hello, 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 hello.
There! Is that better?
But yeah. Okay. And look, since we're just having fun with it, can we show him the thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh! Now you fucked up!
See, TikTok's not all commies and spies.
Right? Yeah, but it happened. Amy Coney Barrett is
the new Supreme Court Justice,
yeah,
baby.
she's no longer Judge Barrett.
No,
is
Justice.
Justice Barrett.
Slav needs that. Okay, so Luska, I'll hook you up after the show.
Hey,
I don't unless you want to put your Twitter handle in the comments there. Here, I'll see if I can find you real quick. Okay, so what does this mean for us?
well, it means that if the theft of the election goes to the Supreme Court, there's going to be 9 justices there, so that A tie court doesn't screw the president?
Yeah. So,
Dave, can you hear me now?
basically it means that, oh, see, Rod says that the video was 25 decibels louder than the music. I suspect that's an exaggeration, but I'll see what I can do. And I'm going to stop discussing what our audio is like at this point, and I just won't play any more video with audio for the rest of the show. So, no. This doesn't guarantee that millions of people lose their health care and we have to stop killing all the babies. As much as I would love for that to be the case, as much as I would love for just millions of people to be completely unable to ever see a doctor again, except for the fact that we're in the United States and they can't kick you out of the emergency room, you lying shitbags. Apart from that, what this really changes is Roberts, the commie shill, has just been nullified. That's what this really changes. Is we no longer have to worry about coming up on a 4-4 split while Pennsylvania is trying to change the rules to allow extra days to count the votes in the trunks of the Buicks. We don't have to worry about Roberts saying, I know I totally just said, like, literally 72 hours ago that we would not approve any rules being made outside of state legislatures to change the rules on voting, and this is totally being done by a court in Pennsylvania. But, screw it. Biden's paying me all that beautiful Chinese crack money. Let's just forget what I said, and I'll go ahead and shill a little more to the enemy. So, yeah, that's the most important, the best thing about Amy Coney Barrett. If she is as conservative as the spineless as Trump's other two if she's at least as conservative as Trump's other two spineless justices, then we've nullified Roberts.
I'm good with that.
The hard part about being a conservative in a country that's being overrun by critical race theory and Marxism is we have to put up with these small victories.
Yeah, as a conservative, we shouldn't actually celebrate one judge or another getting nominated or not nominated or whatever. It's anathema to conservative philosophy. However, politics is the art of the possible. And what was possible was to put Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court. So that's done. That's been took care of. It happened. And man, don't tease me, brother. Is it oh, it's worth the bottom bottle?
We'll open the bottom bottle. I can't believe I've gotten all the way to the bottom bottle. I'm gonna have to go buy some whiskey. Here, I'll let you finish off the Woodford.
You'll let me? No, I want the bottom. You open the bottom bottle.
Oh, well then, give me back my Woodford. There's only about a glass of Woodford left in there anyway. Sláinte.
Yeah, and in the names of all the unborn children that might just possibly get born. Dude, you have so much more discipline than me. If I had had that thing would have been gone in about 38 minutes.
I don't play about my scotch.
Okay, honestly, Drew asked a question. I thought the purpose of the Justice of the Supreme Court was to balance conservative and democratic.
No.
I got it. I promise, I got it. Aren't you concerned about the Supreme Court being too right-leaning? Okay, First of all, no. Not concerned about the court being too right-leaning. Second of all, job of the Supreme Court is to interpret law. They're not there to balance partisanship. It's not what they exist for. They exist to interpret law, specifically in an ideal world, constitutional law. And in fact, the Supreme Court was actually supposed to be the weakest of the three branches. It's why they had so many things baked into the cake. It's why it was a lifetime appointment. It's why things only go to the Supreme Court when it can't get worked out in the executive branch and the legislative branch and the states and all of that other complicated interplay. They were supposed to sort of be like a field goal kicker for football. You almost never need them, but when you do need them, you really need them. You don't want your field goal kicker trying to be the guy blocking your pass rush because he's going to get his teeth knocked out in about 3 plays.
And let's be just, you may not know this, Drew, so, and there, anybody else in the audience, the Supreme Court, the authority of the Supreme Court to strike down laws based on their interpretation of the constitutionality of those laws is not a part of their constitutional authority. That is an authority that was created by precedents in Marbury versus Madison, when basically what happened is there was a sheriff that the new president didn't like, and they refused to confirm him, and it went back and forth, and the Supreme Court decided to punt, and in so doing they created this concept of the judicial review.
Whoops.
Which is it was the beginning of the end. It seated basically, it took the veto power, which is supposed to be, under the Constitution, reserved exclusively to the president, and it gave that power to the judiciary. Marbury versus Madison was an absolute tragedy, a travesty, an absolute monstrosity of a failure of justice and a failure of the separation of powers. It was a complete usurpation of a specific government authority by one of the 3 co-equal branches from another, making the Supreme Court more powerful than it ever should have been. You gonna bust out a pocket constitution on me?
No, just keep talking.
Okay.
I'll be right there.
Madison's midnight appointments. He appointed folks when he was walking out the door. That's right. I see now. I'm sorry. I had to read the comments. You guys are reading the comments before I get to them.
And the shirt's clean, damn it.
Yes, I'm sure.
But like, I literally walked in the door. They don't know. I walked in the door and said, "Hey, buddy, guess what?"
Yeah, he did. He walked in the door.
And he said, "Hey, buddy, guess what? I'm
Dude,
about to go live.
I'm going to go live in a minute. You want to pull up a chair?"
And I said, "Sure." Oh, wait a minute. Let me take off my logo branded for the pest control company that I work for. Let me take that off.
Yeah. And Isaac is now amused that you no longer look like a hobo. Would you like to brush your hair?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You don't need a quick shave?
I'm sitting right next to you. You sure you don't want to brush your teeth? Come on. It was funny.
Oh, do I smell too much like coffee and cigarettes for your taste? So,
Krista, by the way, I thought about coming back with no shirt. I thought about it, but given the fact that the word...
Oh no, Drew. No, nobody's feathers are ruffled. It is a touchy subject because Marbury versus Madison was such a travesty of justice. I'm not upset with you, brother, but a lot of people don't understand that this whole concept, for the average American citizen, the extent of their understanding of the Supreme Court is that it's the thing that checks the laws to make sure they match with the Constitution, and that it does that is actually a gross violation of the Constitution because the veto authority was reserved to the president. It was ceded, it was usurped by the Supreme Court in the case of Marbury versus Madison. It's one that's worth reading up on. I don't have much more to say on the topics though. We got Amy in. As far as the balance of the court goes, again, this was a question that Drew asked. The court should not. The court has no business with any question of trying to balance conservative versus radical anti-American authoritarian leftism, which are, by the way, your options now. And the understanding of the difference between liberal and conservative in the United States is a skewed one. The fact of the matter is, there is no more liberal thing you can be than a conservative, because what a conservative is he is in American politics, and this is the difference. This is why it gets confusing when you hear them talk about the conservatives in Canada and the conservatives in Great Britain and everywhere else around the world. Outside of the United States of America, a conservative is conservative of the monarchy. They're conservative of the traditions. In the United States, conservatives are also conservatives of the traditions, but the tradition of which conservatives are conservative in the United States is the tradition of the most liberal political document ever written in history, the United States Constitution, which abolished our adherence to respecting an authority that is centralized, like a monarch or a commissar or anything of the sort. It took the power and the authority of centralized government and not only abolished it, but disseminated it to the lowest common denominator, that being the individual. You need only look then to the 10th Amendment, which says all powers herein not explicitly, I'm paraphrasing, not explicitly reserved and enumerated to the federal government, are reserved therefrom to the states and then to the people. So the state government has no power or authority which we the people did not explicitly cede in writing to it. And the federal government has no power or authority under the Constitution which the states in their severability did not also explicitly cede to the federal government. And even those authorities which the states may wish to choose to cede are forbidden to be ceded to the federal government without an amendment to the Constitution, because the only powers the federal government is allowed are those explicitly enumerated by the Constitution. So if you want to give the federal government the power to say, oh, I don't know, regulate health care, you can stick the Commerce Clause right up your nose and have a constitutional convention, you usurping, commissar, authoritarian fucking hacks! But I'm just a guy that reads things.
You know, for a guy with unruffled feathers, you certainly looked an awful lot like an angry turkey just a moment ago. But no, Drew, nobody's mad. We're passionate. Okay? That's what it is. We're passionate. And just to kind of tag on something Chris was saying, the word liberal is supposed to mean freedom. There's people that describe themselves as a classical liberal. And what they mean is Thomas Jefferson. The closest thing to that in our modern political discourse is the libertarians. And unfortunately, the Libertarian Party just can't seem to find its ass from the hole in the ground. But at this point, am I worried about the court going too far to the right? Well, no. Because when you go too far to the right in this country, in our society, in this system, with the way we have formulated everything that we understand about politics in this country, going too far to the right means you give too much individual freedom, and I don't have a problem with that. Not at all. Oh, are we going to go too far to the right by saying unborn babies deserve to have a chance? Oh, are we going to go too far to the right by saying you have absolute freedom of speech? You have absolute freedom of assembly? that you have absolute freedom in the Second Amendment. Chris and I are guys that believe you should actually be allowed to own a cannon. Now, you might get in trouble for firing that cannon, but we believe you should be allowed to own a cannon. It's right there in the Second Amendment.
I even think it's reasonable to get in trouble for firing the cannon under certain circumstances. Noise ordinances, not unreasonable. Also, noise ordinances are authorities exerted by consent of the governed at the lowest common denominator, quite differently from, a federal assault weapons ban, which is problematic even before you get into the fact that there's no such thing as a codified definition of an assault rifle.
Oh, thanks for the tip, Dave. We are checking it out. And just real quick, it's funny. You talk about consent of the governed.
Oh, yeah, Dave, I got you. I got you, babe.
You talk about consent of the governed. I had some quality time with my father and my oldest son on Sunday. And my father happens to be an oldest son. I happen to be an oldest son, and my oldest son, by definition, happens to be an oldest son. So, we're just talking, and this whole thing about consent of the governed came up. And part of what we discussed is, man, the left has some serious hypocrisy on this word consent. Let's believe all women, and consent is key, and we've got to teach everybody and every person, because everybody belongs to everybody, that consent.
Unless Joe Biden stuck his finger in your hair.
In your hair?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, fair enough.
He's a sniffer.
No, they're all about consent until it comes from the consent of the governed. Like, don't force me to buy health insurance that I know is going to be bullshit. Because I happen to work in the health insurance industry, and I understand that an individual mandate is a terrible idea, because I know how actuarial tables work. I know why actuaries that work for insurance companies make like $200,000 a year, because that's a lot of math.
No. It's witchcraft.
Math. Witches would tell you it was math.
They're arithmeticians.
No, did you really? Okay, fine. You win.
Yes, I did. I went there because I'm a philologist.
Stop. Oh. But yeah, unless you have something to add.
I mean, honestly, I was thinking maybe we just hang out and go ahead and watch this bit together.
Well, no, I love our friends over at Polytech. I'm going to watch their stream.
Are they live now?
Not quite, but it's almost 9.
Yeah, well, it says Clarence Thomas swears her in 1 minute. This is that. This is about to happen.
Oh, it's in like 1 minute.
That's in like, yeah, nowish. I'm sure they'll be late, but
Uh-oh. Nope, we're stepping on Polytech. Whoops.
Well, tough. We'll just hop over. We're gonna get off of here and go watch Polytech after the oath. So we're listening on the headphones, so it doesn't step on the microphone. That's why I was crapping.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, accompanied by Justice Clarence Thomas and Justice Amy Coney Barrett.
Look at that shit-eating grin. He knows who.
Lights,
know, right? How come we can see the black man better than we
Thank
can
you
see
very
the
much.
president?
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Distinguished guests and my fellow citizens. This is a momentous day for America, for the United States Constitution, and for the fair and impartial rule of law. The Constitution is the ultimate defense of American liberty. The faithful application of the law is the cornerstone of our republic. That is why, as president, I have no more solemn obligation and no greater honor than to appoint Supreme Court justices. On this October evening, and it is so beautiful, the First Lady and I welcome you to the White House to bear witness to history. In a few moments, we will proudly swear in the newest member of the United States Supreme Court, Justice Amy Coney Barrett. She is one of our nation's most brilliant legal scholars, and she will make an outstanding justice on the highest court in our land. Justice Barrett's oath will be administered by the court's longest-serving member, currently on the bench, a man whose allegiance to the law has earned him the respect and gratitude of all Americans, Justice Clarence Thomas. Our country owes a great debt of thanks to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. We appreciate it very much, Mitch. Thank you. And we are grateful as well to the Senate Judiciary Chairman, Lindsey Graham. Thank you, Lindsey. Also with us, Senators Marsha Blackburn, Mike Braun, Bill Cassidy, Kevin Kramer, Ted Cruz, Steve Daines, Ron Johnson, James Lankford, Mike Lee, and Martha McSally. And I hope I didn't leave anybody out. And a very special thanks to our great Vice President, Mike Pence. Thank you, Mike.
Damn, it's like a party at the White House.
No shit.
Also, I want to thank White House Counsel Pat Cipollone. Thank you, Pat. And very importantly, I want to welcome Justice Barrett's husband, Jesse. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you.
Let's see the red button.
Let me also recognize your 7 children, your great, beautiful children who have become really very, very popular in this nation. People have been watching them and loving them, and they're watching right now back home in Indiana. Thank you very much.
I guess I could do it, yes.
But I speak to everyone when I say that the Barrett family has captured America's heart. It is highly fitting that Justice Barrett fills the seat of a true pioneer for women. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Tonight, Justice Barrett becomes not only the 5th woman to serve on our nation's highest court,
Man, if I had my own
but
access
the
to
very
chat,
first
I'd
mother
point out
of
first that
school-aged
Donald Trump's
children
really
to
good at being
become a
super
Supreme
spread, man.
Court justice. Very important. Over the past few weeks, the entire world has seen Justice Barrett's deep knowledge, tremendous poise, and towering intellect. She answered questions for hours on end. Throughout her entire confirmation, her impeccable credentials were unquestioned, unchallenged, and obvious to all. Justice Barrett earned a full academic scholarship to Notre Dame Law School, graduated first in her class, and served as a clerk for Justice Antonin Scalia. She was a beloved professor at Notre Dame Law School for 15 years
Unmute me
before
for just a second.
I very proudly appointed her to the U.S. Circuit
Stop
Court of
making fun of me.
Appeals
I
for
am
the
actually
7th
literally
Circuit
homeless. You
in
realize that, right?
2017. The American people have been profoundly impressed to learn of her achievements, her compassion, her generosity, her faith, and her sterling character. Justice Barrett made clear she will issue rulings based solely upon a faithful reading of the law and the Constitution as written, not legislate from the bench. The equal, impartial, and constitutional rule of law that we enjoy every day in America is one of the crowning achievements in the history of human civilization. It is the triumph of reason, experience, and the values which are eternal and everlasting.
Even though it's
Our
at
devotion
my
to this
expense, that's
inheritance
funny.
is what has
Well
made
played,
America
Officer
the
Evans.
most just,
Well played.
Yeah, I hate to
exceptional,
admit it, but that
and
was funny.
glorious nation ever to exist. I want every American child watching to understand that this is a very special and important ceremony. We are fulfilling the duty that passes to each new generation to sustain the national traditions and virtues that make possible everything we have achieved before that. We will do tomorrow because of our Constitution and our culture of freedom. You live in a land where anything is possible and where any dream can come true. No matter who you are, no matter your background, in America, everyone is entitled to equal protection under our laws, and your sacred rights can never, ever be taken away. The march of liberty that began with the American Revolution continues onward this evening. Tonight at the White House, we carry forward the cause of freedom, equality, and justice for which so many generations of Americans have given so much. We honor the cause for which men died to win the Civil War and for which they jumped out of airplanes and shed their blood on distant battlefields. We honor the immortal principles inspired millions in the struggle for civil rights, and we take special pride in the nation that inspires billions of people all over the world. We must never take this radiant inheritance for granted. We must never lose confidence in our history, our heritage, or in our heroes. To reach for the stars, we must stand upon the strong and sturdy foundation built by those incredible Americans who came before. Justice Barrett, as you take your oath tonight, the legacy of our ancestors falls to you. The American people put their trust in you and their faith in you as you take up the task of defending our laws, our Constitution, and this country that we all love. We ask God to give you wisdom and courage. I know you will make us all very, very proud as long as we are loyal to our founding and to our fellow citizens. America's future will be bright, America's destiny will be great, and America's people will forever and always be free. I now ask Justice Thomas to administer the oath. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Damn, she is fine too, isn't she?
I, Amy Coney Barrett, do solemnly swear
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of
Subtitles,
the
thank
United
goodness.
States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
Oh, look at her. It's like that. It hit her. She's trying to hold it together, but it hit her.
Yep, yep. And unlike those lefty justices, she said, "So help me God." She's damn mental. She's hurt.
God.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you all for being here tonight. And thank you, President Trump, for selecting me to serve as an Associate Justice of the United States Supreme Court. It's a privilege to be asked to serve my country in this office, and I stand here tonight truly honored and humbled. Thanks also to the Senate for giving its consent to my appointment. I am grateful for the confidence you have expressed in me, and I pledge to you and to the American people that I will discharge my duties to the very best of my ability. This was a rigorous confirmation process, and I thank all of you, especially Leader McConnell and Chairman Graham, for helping me to navigate it. My heartfelt thanks go to the members of the White House staff and Department of Justice who worked tirelessly to support me through this process. Your stamina is remarkable, and I have been the beneficiary of it. Jesse and I are also so grateful to the many people who have supported our family over these last several weeks. Through ways both tangible and intangible, you have made this day possible. Jesse and I have been truly awestruck by your generosity. I have spent a good amount of time over the last month at the Senate, both in meetings with individual senators and in days of hearings before the Senate Judiciary Committee. The confirmation process has made ever clearer to me one of the fundamental differences between the federal judiciary and the United States Senate. And perhaps the most acute is the role of policy preferences. It is the job of a senator to pursue her policy preferences. In fact, it would be a dereliction of duty for her to put policy goals aside. By contrast, it is the job of a judge to resist her policy preferences. It would be a dereliction of duty for her to give in to them. Federal judges don't stand for election. Thus, they have no basis for claiming that their preferences reflect those of the people. This separation of duty from political preference is what makes the judiciary distinct among the three branches of government. A judge declares independence not only from Congress and the President, but also from the private beliefs that might otherwise move her. The judicial oath captures the essence of the judicial duty. The rule of law must always control. My fellow Americans, even though we judges don't face elections, we still work for you. It is your Constitution that establishes the rule of law and the judicial independence that is so central to it. The oath that I have solemnly taken tonight means at its core that I will do my job without any fear or favor, and that I will do so independently of both the political branches and of my own preferences. I love the Constitution and the democratic republic that it establishes, and I will devote myself to preserving it. Thank you.
That's a ball game.
All right, guys, that's all we got for you tonight.
Yeah, we were actually literally only going to do a 5 or 10 minute stream, but then it popped up.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the confirmation to happen so immediately.
Like right there. No, we're going to do it right here. So we'll stick around for a few more minutes. And, with regard to Lindsay, it hurts when it comes from a pretty girl. I'll dress better for the show. I promise. I promise. It's been about function more than anything else. I swear, at least I take a shower before I get on here. It doesn't look like it, but I do.
Apparently, Isaac's last comment escaped us.
It's probably further down.
Hit the makeup chair.
No, we caught that one.
We caught that one.
Oh, no, we saw the makeup chair thing.
Yeah, we saw the makeup chair joke. We laughed. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then I went off on my tangent about the secret agent book holder.
And I admitted that it was funny, even though it was at my expense. But that's about all I got.
Y'all be safe. We'll see you in the morning. Good night.